ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ ഗസ്റ്റാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ഉള്ളത്. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പ്രതിരോധ സ്ഥാപനമായ DRDOയിൽ ഡയറക്ടർ ജനറലും ഔട്ട്സ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് സയന്റിസ്റ്റുമായിരുന്ന, ഇന്ത്യയുടെ അഭിമാനമായ BrahMos Aerospaceൽ CEOയും MDയുമായിരുന്ന ശ്രീ അതുൽ റാണെ. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഒരു കേരള കണക്ഷനുണ്ട്. അക്കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് ചോദിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കാം. വെൽക്കം സർ. Sir, you are one of the core team members of BrahMos Aerospace right from the beginning. How the BrahMos missile transformed India's indigenous defense sector?
Yeah. You see, when I joined DRDO, it was the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program was on already. We were inducted into DRDO because of that program. The Gulf War took place, and during that time we understood that there is one thing missing from the missile development program, which was the cruise missile. Our bosses at that time, Dr. Kalam, Dr. Shivtanu Pillai, they actually searched around for who could be the partners, and choosing a right partner is actually the most important thing. I was already working with Russia on some small projects and some consultancies. They landed up there, and we managed to get an offer from the Russian side that they have an engine around which a missile can be made. The company was sort of formulated at that sort of moment that we will have a joint venture to develop, produce and deliver the anti-ship cruise missile. The company, of course, got registered only in 1998. Later on, it's 27 years now. BrahMos Aerospace has done quite a lot of things. It started with the missile portion being only 3% Indian content. We worked hard, DRDO on one side, our partner industries, the private industries, they worked hard. And today the BrahMos missile has up to 84% indigenous content. So that is a huge marked change in the indigenous content of BrahMos missile. What happened was, when IGMDP started, there was a lot of problem of getting any equipment, even for doing our testing or for doing our simulation. So a lot of the things had to be developed in-house before we could get into missiles. And that was also part of the jobs which many of us youngsters had to take up. Of course, under the able direction of the visionary leaders we had in those days. They were the ones who pushed it. And we were part of the team working together. India has moved very far forward in indigenization. We actually claim, and it's a truth, that we can design any type of missile which is required by the armed forces. Producing is a different subject. Producing, we may have a little bit of trouble because raw materials and few things are not available in our country. Some technologies are not available in our country. Those are the technologies which we now have to work on to become truly self-reliant. The word Atmanirbhar Bharat, which has come up more recently, that is of course but natural that we need to be Atmanirbhar. And the work for that has been started for many years, but now there is an actual big push towards trying to be self-reliant. Only thing is, I like to always say one small thing. All the successful military weapons all over the world, none of them are made by a single country. Every country needs to work with some other country in terms of some materials or some software or some parts. So you cannot be 100% Atmanirbhar. You have to have some work with other people also. But yes, self-reliance is that when you have a war or a time of attrition, at that time no one should be able to choke you. No one should be able to stop you from conducting yourself and protecting yourself against enemies. And that, I think, we have more or less achieved in our country.
Many countries want to buy BrahMos missiles now.
Yes.
After Philippines, now Indonesia set to finalize BrahMos missile deal with India. Is India moving closer to its goal of becoming a global defense hub?
our global market, that is our footprint in the export market, has always been there, albeit little slow and small. We've been known as more buyers, but the spare parts industry, the aerospace industry, we are already very much into the supply chain for the big players, for Boeing, for Lockheed Martin, for Raytheon, for many of them. We are big suppliers. But as a full blown weapon system, yes, BrahMos was the first one which went through, and that just with the Philippines Marine Corps, that was just the door opening. We managed it, and after that, already there's so many systems which have gone out. Armenia has bought Akash. There are a lot of people interested in the Nag missile. A lot of countries are interested not only in BrahMos but the whole gamut of technology which India has been able to create through DRDO and the partner industries. So yes, we are on the anvil of becoming a major global exporter, a force for supplying weapons of peace, is what I would like to say. Indonesia is coming up. There are a lot of other countries who are going to be coming up. I'm sure the government of India and BrahMos Aerospace will be making announcements very soon on a few more.
So recently, India hit record in defense production.
Uh, that's the what very interestingly, the government of India has been creating lots of policies and enabling policies to allow startups to work, to be set up, for them to produce, to do research. MSMEs, they're on board, and they've also started doing. In fact, during the supply chain of BrahMos, we have only maybe 3 or 4 or 5 large industrial houses who are our partners, one or two DPSUs also. Rest of them are all MSMEs, and each one of them has now grown into a self-sufficient design agency, and they are now going to be capable of doing work on their own. So that is a very enheartening and enlightening thing, that people like L&T are able to do exports. People like Bharat Forge are able to do exports. HAL, of course, has been in the game for quite some time, and they are also going to start off. So exports are going to rise. And as I said, the aerospace industry had got its fillip or move to enter into the supply chain, because the whole world started understanding that India is a place of talent. India is a place of youngsters. And India is a place where investment is safe. So it's but automatic that our exports will slowly increase, and they will reach even higher points. The government has given a very stiff target, and they keep enhancing it over the years. But we are bang on the whole defense industry is bang on the path to achieving everything. I must say that the government is a big enabler for all these things also.
Sir, about the growing participation of private sector in defense.
Yeah, as I said, in the case of BrahMos, I'll use that as an example, and then we can look at other people things also. The big DPSUs do only a certain area of work. And when BrahMos was being created, and when we were looking for our partner industries for production, we went only to the private industry. They became our partners. So we have a huge supply chain of about 20 or 30 primary suppliers, first level chain, and then in the level 2 and level 3 down the chain, there are so many suppliers who are all private industries. So they are very much into the game. And if you look at what's happening with the AMCA, they're also now looking at consortiums, because that is going to be the approach which we need to work on together. That is not a single industry who can do a single thing. When I said that single country can do a single weapon, it's the same with the industry. They have to get together and create consortiums, and that's what is happening in the case of AMCA. So it's really interesting.
Sir, about the BrahMos second hypersonic missile. Will it be a game changer?
Hypersonics will be a game changer, whatever you say. There's just no doubt about it. Now, who's ahead in the race of hypersonics? Who will bring out the first weapon which can be inducted into the armed forces? That's a question which remains to be seen, because hypersonics is still at its nascent stage. Technology bricks are being built by everyone. DRDO is working on it from our side in India. BrahMos has a few engineers working on hypersonics. Uh, but as I said, it's such a advanced topic that it will take time. So once these technology bricks are in place, both in Russia as well as in India, BrahMos Aerospace becomes the best place to bring both these bricks in, or pieces of technology in, and create a missile. And that's what BrahMos 2 will be. When it comes out, it needs money. So main thing is that a hypersonic missile program requires lots of money. We will be looking, BrahMos will be looking for it, as well as the government of India will be looking for that money. Uh, there is no defense against a hypersonic cruise missile till today. If BrahMos as a supersonic cruise missile doesn't have a defense, then a hypersonic cruise missile will be absolutely unbelievable. But there's a lot of work to be done on that.
So, Operation Sindhu is a litmus test for India, for BrahMos also. Uh, what did Operation Sindhu prove to the world?
The first thing is, I must congratulate the Indian Armed Forces, in particular the Air Force, because they used more of the weapons, but the Army also and the Navy was deployed out there. They had the courage, and I applaud that particular decision of theirs to use indigenous weapons. That itself was a first massive step to tell not only our own country, our own countrymen, but the confidence that the Indian armed forces have in indigenous weapons. That is the first thing which is there. The very fact that each one of these weapons worked well, the work behind them for R&D by DRDO, and of course the production by the industries, a lot of care has been taken, and there was just no doubt that they would work when they are necessary to work. Tests are a different thing, but when you need it to work, Op Sindur was a test where we have now battle worthy proven, and it was an honor given to us by the Indian Air Force, to all of us scientists who have worked on missiles, the Akash missile and the BrahMos missile, that they worked, and they have the confidence, and they're making more and more orders for it. And naturally, the world is now looking up and seeing, oh, these guys have it on their own. Now, what else will come? So everyone is waiting with bated breath to see how we move forward now from here.
So, how much will be the total cost of producing a missile? And how much missiles are being produced annually?
That is something which we will have to leave aside for the time being, because that may be little privileged information for the armed forces, but they have enough to take care of our country. Cost wise, no technology is cheap, everything is expensive. But we need to defend our country, so we need to spend also at the same time.
So there are tensions around the world. Uh, Russia and Ukraine war, Middle East war. But, but we turn, we call ourselves as a model world. But tensions are there. Can we expect? Is a world without war possible?
That will be wonderful, and that is something which I think all of us dream for. But it's human nature. Competition is human nature, and once there is competition, there will always be conflicts. The method of conflict resolution could be through power, or could be through talks. Sometimes talks are not enough, so there will always be conflicts. I will not call them wars. There will be conflicts which need to be resolved as soon as possible. Op Sindur was excellent. At least there is one place where India, as a leader, showed that a conflict can be resolved at its earliest and not allow it to escalate or go on for a longer time. That may have been partly due to the forces which we had, the equipment which we had, but also because of the political acumen that all of the people put together onto the table and said that we will take these steps as it begins to escalate, and we will take these steps to make sure that it does not escalate further. That was really a wonderful thing.
Sir, about the future of BrahMos and the projects.
Uh, there is a huge roadmap for BrahMos. The current missile itself has been continuously being improved. So there are many more improvements, though it is still an unbeatable missile as we call it. But there's still many improvements we are doing on it, technological improvements which are ongoing. But then one can't rest on just one product because slowly that becomes a little older and one should look for the newer things. We have found a missile, the same BrahMos we have miniaturized so that it can be carried under the wings of any aircraft, be it a Russian origin aircraft or even a Western origin aircraft. So this smaller BrahMos, which we call the BrahMos next generation or BrahMos NG, will be lighter. Other specifications will be all the same as the current BrahMos. It's only that will be lighter and we can carry two of them under the aircraft. We're designing for the LCA Mark II. When it comes out, we're going to be ready to put the BrahMos NG on that. But since we don't have the Mark II with us for doing testing, we'll start the design on the Su-30 and prove it on that. And by the time the Mark II is available, we'll add it to that. And that becomes a massive changer in terms of the amount of firepower aircraft can carry, and it also becomes an avenue for exports because everyone in the world would love to have a BrahMos under their wing, and they would be able to defend their boundaries and their borders successfully.
കുറച്ച് മലയാളത്തിലാവുന്നു സർ. സാർ മലയാളിയാണ്.
ഞാൻ
മലയാളിയാണ്.
ഞാൻ മലയാളി അല്ല, പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ പഠിച്ചു. ഞാൻ തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തിൽ ഐ ലിവ്ഡ് ഫോർ 12 ഇയേഴ്സ്. ഐ ഡിഡ് മൈ എൻ്റെ സ്കൂളിംഗ് ലയോള സ്കൂളിൽ ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ 2 വർഷം പ്രീ ഡിഗ്രി മാറി വാനിയസിൽ. So Malayalam is a learnt language for me, uh, but I'm able to read it, understand it very well. സംസാരിക്കാൻ ഇച്ചിരി പാടാണ് because I don't have practice, that's all. Every Thursday by home I put on only Malayalam on my TV so that I keep in touch with Malayalam and I listen to Malayalam news, Malayalam serials and Malayalam films.
പേരൻസ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് സർ കേരളത്തിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത് സാറിന്റെ?
And എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനമ്മ they came here in first time in 1967. I was a very young boy. My brother also was a young baby at that time. Uh, they came to join Dr. Vikram Sarabhai in his quest for space. Father was also working in similar areas in the US. Uh, it didn't work out very well at that moment of time because it took some time for a lot of policies to go get into place. So we went back. He went back to the US. In 1971, Dr. Sarabhai called him again and asked him to come and said, "This is the time." We moved in 71 November to Trivandrum, and my parents lived here all their lives in Trivandrum. So they were resident Malayalis. Uday, my younger brother, and myself became. I mean, we are Malayalis for all practical purposes. My hometown, even today, in my service book says Trivandrum. So I'm a non-resident Malayali right now. Let's put it that way.
പഠനകാലത്തെ ഓർമ്മകളെന്ന് പറയാമോ സാർ? ലയോള സ്കൂളിൽ പഠിച്ചത്,
Oh yes.
മാർവാനിസിലെ പഠനകാലമൊക്കെ.
You see, first thing which we had, I mean, both, all three of us, or all four of us, father, mother, myself, and my younger brother, was the language. But say, language for my brother and myself, we had to learn it as a second language in Loyola School. Why Loyola School? Because if we had joined any other school, Malayalam would have been a big problem. So we had to join the English medium school. Central School was still teaching social studies in Hindi in those days, and Hindi was also not with us. Nowadays, actual mother tongue is Marathi. So it was an automatic choice that we joined Loyola School. Luckily, we got a place there. In the 70s, it was a little easier to join, and then there was no looking back. Loyola taught us so many things, and Malayalam is one of the languages which has been my stepping stone to many other languages. That is one thing. Trivandrum as such was a very quiet, small place, open areas. Kovalam beach was huge. Today Kovalam beach has become smaller, but then tourism has increased in Trivandrum. Infrastructure in Trivandrum has totally changed. In those days, we had only one ground, the GV Raja ground, which was there. Of course, the university playground was there, Kerala University playground, but Arts College playground, but that was not really used. Now we see a lot of international sports coming to Kerala. We see Kerala sportsmen have always been very good, but now you see other sports and games growing in Kerala. The badminton, the swimming, all these things are because of the infrastructure and the push given by this sort of a place. To a tennis club has been there ever since then, but it's only improving more and more. A lot of facilities which have come up, schools. Uh, in those days, the number of schools were much less, and they were much smaller, of course. Now the schools are not schools anymore; they're institutions. They're huge. They've changed. A lot of changes to Trivandrum, and we just remember that sleepy old town has now become a bustling city, bursting out to become a metro. It would be. It's also another interesting to see us growing with the city, and it growing into something much bigger.
advance കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് സാറിൻ്റെ ഹയർ സ്റ്റഡീസ് ചെന്നൈയിൽ പൂനെയിലുമായിരുന്നു.
That's right.
അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഡിഫൻസിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്.
That's true.
സാറിൻ്റെ ഇൻസ്പിറേഷൻ എന്തായിരുന്നു അതിലേക്ക് വരാനുള്ള? അച്ഛൻ തന്നെയായിരുന്നു.
അങ്ങനെയല്ല, I left Trivandrum because of one reason. I tell this very openly to a lot of people. It may sound odd. If I studied in Trivandrum in CET, which would have been a very automatic choice, but say if I stayed in Trivandrum, I would have always been called, this is the elder son of Dr. Rane. So I had decided and I requested my parents. They said, yes, of course. I left and went to study in Chennai. That was the reason I went to Chennai. Uh, to get into defense, well, in those days when we finished engineering, jobs were very small, very few. ISRO could have been a choice, but then it was again my statement that I don't want to join ISRO because daddy is there. So that was cut out. Armed forces was out because I used spectacles and there was no place there. So left was any of the other government jobs. DRDO seemed to be the best. DRDO offered us at that time after the examination. They said that we will give you can go and do your MTech directly, and they gave us a stipend of 200 rupees more than UGC. So I think it was an automatic choice for 200 rupees more and a degree. Let's join this organization and see what happens. So it was more that way. But when I joined DRDO and the first posting, I don't know, nowadays Hyderabad, DRDL. DRDL's director was a visionary. All of us know him, Dr. Abdul Kalam, and that helped me to stay on in DRDO. Uh, when the 2000 came, the year 2000 was coming, a lot of people left DRDO because the software people saw opening in the outside world for the software part of it. I managed to stay on only because there was an inspiration, like those inspirational leaders, Dr. Pillai, Mr. Venugopalan, Mr. Pralada, who is the architect of the Akash missile. They were inspirations. And we were already so deep into work, so satisfying work. May not be as high paying as the work which you get outside, but that satisfaction is what held me on. And there were a lot of challenges, which is what we were always prepared for. And solving any problem, any challenging problem, is very satisfying.
സാർ കൗതുകമുള്ള ചോദ്യമാണ് സാർ. കൂടുതൽ ചോദ്യം, കേരളത്തിൽ സാറിൻ്റെ ഇഷ്ടങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? കേരളത്തിലെ ഫുഡ്, കേരളത്തിലെ ക്ലൈമറ്റ്, കേരളം എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് സാറിനെ സ്വാധീനിച്ചത്?
Kerala is my home, so everything at home is good. Everything at home is always nice. So, let me tell you one main symbol of Kerala. It is the friendliness of the people on the road. We in Kerala are friendly people. We accept and invite people to our state, and we don't fight with them. We are not combative with them. Go to any other place, there's little sense of, you have come to my state, you're going to displace me, you're going to take my job, oh, why have you come, oh, you're a rich man, spend more money. That sort of thing is not there in Kerala. This is, I think, one of the very prime things. Of course, when we say Kerala is God's own country, it's a fact. When you come into land at Trivandrum by air or come in by train from the north, the whole scenery changes. It's so green. We are a blessed state. We have wonderful weather. We have wonderful greenery, wonderful people, and all the people have gotten together and brought Kerala up so much. We are on the world map. I mean, if some people say India, where would you like to go? I'm sure a lot of people will say Kerala.
Thank you for spending all your time with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.